Today on Play and Display, we're going to take the old school 1989 Baxter Stockman Playmate action figure and compare it with the modern day TMNT classic line of 2023. At first glance, you swear to God this is almost an exact replica of the original packaging though, but there are a few details that are a little different right here. Where it says Baxter Stockman in turtle swatter, it says like wacky weapon thing here. There's no choking enhancer thing there, which is probably a good addition for it though. Back then they just, I don't know, I don't think the manufacturer really thought twice about it, but maybe they did, who knows. But lo and behold though, the wings were actually in a different position though. You know, I can give you a little side-by-side comparison with the old packaging looked like versus what this one does. So, very similar though. Let's go ahead and take a look in the back. On the back of the card, it has this great panel right here that tells the story of the Ninja Turtles. Back in the day though, you know, a lot of action figures came up in mini comics, and this was their way of kind of just adding it on the back of the card. And probably some of the best promotional thing any action figure or toy company could do is just on the back of the package, list what other figures you can get though. I mean, most of the time, you would just look at the back of these things and think to yourself, I need this guy, I need that guy. Not only does it separate the good, but also separates the bad guys here. Now, this roster isn't going to reflect the 89 releases. This is going to reflect the modern day classic line release. And I love these cutaway profile cards. I used to actually cut them out and I used to keep them. I don't know what the hell ever happened to my originals. But with this one, I want to take it out. I can actually start that collection over again, though. Has a really funny backstory about them. Favorite phase right there has helped me. Favorite sports. Suit swimming. I mean, this toy line didn't take itself so serious, but I think that's what made it appeal to a young generation back then, that it was a fun time. It just had a great attitude about itself. And here's a quick shot just to kind of compare the old back of the 89 packaging to the modern day 2023 release. At first glance, you can tell there are a few differences, though. The biggest one that stood out to me right away was the fact that the teeth are white on the old figure and not necessarily the new figure. Plus, the new figure is just slightly a little bit taller too as well. Also, you notice too right here with the lab coat's a little torn off right here. This is more of a light purple, where this one over here is more of a dark purple. Also, there's staining on his coat here, and it's got some weird strap thing. Over here, it has the outline for it, but it's not painted in. The little syringe right here on the old figure is there. The mold for the old one is there too, but the problem is it's not painted in. If you want to customize it, I mean, that's not an issue, but for the most part, I felt like, you know, they could have just did that from the factory, though. And another detail I almost missed, though, was in the legs. The old figure has these varicose veins kind of looking legs here. The other one obviously doesn't, though. So, on the back of the figure, so this is where it's going to kind of show up a little bit of differency. And that, the fact that this one right here has a little purple outline with a little purple kind of hanging over. And this right here is just white. Unfortunately, I don't have my original wings from Baxter Stockman, but you guys can tell. I'll pop up a picture here. Some of these wings were colored in the same dark purple as the arms that were coming out of it. So that's kind of a bummer. But now his swatter weapon is a little different. And the two major problems I have with it, obviously one's the color for it. The color I believe was like a brown. And it was a two-piece design. When you take this off right here, you know, it's not going to pop off. And the crazy thing is too, I believe it's fly swatter. You can turn when it popped off. So you can have it facing outward instead of facing the side of that character. So now all these accessories do work with the old school 89 Baxter Stockman. But like I said, my biggest problem still is just the swatter not being in the right position. And for my final review of 2023 TMNT Classic Line Baxter Stockman is this. They did a great job recreating the mold and the look of Baxter Stockman on this one. Now there's no doubt about that. Compared to this one right here, at first you really can't tell. But the more you look at it, the more you own it, you're going to see to yourself, there's like 8 different areas where they could have added color. It would not have been a huge issue on their end, though. I felt like they cheaped out the end. And now these are pretty much very affordable to get, though, but you really should have filled in the details. With that being said, though, it is still a great mold because it does follow the original to a T. So I'm going to give this one a pretty average score, and it's going to be an 8 out of 10. For posability, this figure has every articulation as the original one does. It's got the wrists that move right here, the shoulders, and the legs, and the head, and obviously his extra arms he gets. And that's all you're going to get, too. I mean, this is an 89 toy. Not a lot of posability to it, though, but they did nail down everything that the original had. Now, the Masters of the Universe Origins line added more articulation, which I always grade those a lot higher up because the posability is much better. But considering they didn't really do anything great or anything bad, this one also gets a pretty average score of 8 out of 10. And the fun factor is going to come down to this. This figure right here costs roughly about 10 bucks. If you want to get yourself a 1989 Baxter Stockman complete, you're looking about 30 bucks. I already had one, but it was missing all accessories. The swatter itself online is going to go for about, what, I want to say 10 bucks. And these wings right here are going to cost you $14. So, you know, it would have cost me $20 just to get this, you know, back to original. And that would have been fine, but the cool thing about this, though, is I get to do a review on it. And on top of that, I wouldn't mind painting these up, though. This might be a little project for you. It's going to cut down on some people's fun factor because they don't want to do that. If you're going to get this figure and you want it to be just like the original, there's going to be some compromise. But if you can live with those compromise, the fun factor, I can easily state this at an 8.5 out of 10. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. There are a lot of good TMNT classic figures out there right now. It's just the Baxter Stockman was like the only character I had from the original from '89. I decided to open up the one I had, and boy, I found a lot of problems with the dough. But there are some good ones out there, though. So don't let this video discourage you from checking out the line, though. But most of all, thank you guys so much for watching, though. And leave a comment if you guys like to. Like and subscribe for the newest videos. Until then, man, y'all take care of yourselves. Peace.